Mary Baxter here, and I want to thank you for opening this video. You've probably had a reading with me, clearing and shielding, and we're looking at ways to maintain that really ideal state of being fully in the light, fully aware and unencumbered by baggage that we have probably carried with us for a long time before having a clearing. Often we're not aware of, that we have these things available to us to make our lives much more emotionally smooth and pleasant. And so I want to introduce you to how I use EFT, or emotional freedom technique, because I find this very centering. So say you're going along, in your day, and you suddenly get a phone call and you find out something, very disturbing, and yet there's not a lot you can do about it. Maybe there's something you're dealing with it, but the point is you want to deal with it not stressed out or triggered, but you want to calm yourself and then deal with it. And this is always the very best way to be in the world. The idea that we are responding to things that are happening in a calm and centered way, not reacting, not being set off, not being triggered. And so we want to catch it. So if you find yourself mildly disturbed by something or wildly agitated, this emotional freedom technique, EFT, is a wonderful way to really begin to smooth that out. And it has far-reaching effects. So I'd like you to begin using it, and I'm going to show you now. The first thing is setting up. And this deals with a thought about what's disturbing us and accepting it, and then points on the body that we're going to tap in order to bring ourselves into a state of being able to deal more readily with this. And I just went through a teaser of what we're going to do. So first, the setup. For this, we tap on the outer part of our hand with fingers from our other hand, just like this. And while we do this, we say something aloud. Here it is, even though I've just been given a very upsetting message, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I've been given a very upsetting message, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, this could be any number of things. Even though I've just had a very loud argument with my husband, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my child hung up on the phone from me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm coming down with some type of flu, I deeply and completely accept myself. So I'm hoping from those examples that you're getting the idea of the setup. Now I'm gonna stick with the upsetting phone call. So I've set that up, and we might give 4 or 5 taps here. You don't have to sit and do this for 5 minutes. Now the next thing is, once I have it set up, first I tap on the top of my head. And here I'm not going to go through the whole statement. I'm going to say upsetting phone call and just tap a few times there. The next place is at the outer edge of the eyebrow, a few taps there, upsetting phone call. Then under the eye, I'm tapping on the bone that I feel around, my eye socket, upsetting phone call. Under the nose, between my nose and my upper lip, upsetting phone call. On my chin, upsetting phone call. Then slightly off center from the breastbone, below the collarbone, upsetting phone call. And I often add in under the arm, upsetting phone call. And then I can gauge my level of whether I'm feeling calm, whether I'm feeling upset. I'm looking around for my glasses, which is why I wear them. Now put them back on. Okay, now that is the method. Now you can use this video just run it over and over until you get all of these, the points, really clear in your mind, and can go ahead and do this. And you see, it's not terribly difficult. Some people stop right here. That is fine. I know over the years that there are many changes in this system, and the thing about it is that it works. You will find that you're far less upset by whatever has been disturbing you. Now, one other technique that is also really useful and is more subtle involves just centering with your heart. And there is a fantastic organization called the HeartMath Institute that has done so much research and learning through their books and so forth, videos, other people who are practitioners. There are some very significant ways to work with the heart. And today I just want to show you a very simple method that I use. And so what's cool about this is you can do it anywhere. There's no, tapping, no setting up in that regard. So this is really a great strategy if you're in the middle of something. Say you're in the middle of a really stressful situation. Someone has just approached you and said something that's very shocking or is trying to argue with you. Maybe you're even, like in traffic and can't, really get out of it, but you're in a very stressful situation. And so what you do is you become aware of it. Like, okay, I want to center myself in this situation. And the first thing is some deep breaths, which you can take in the middle of an argument. So for example, we've got something going on and I'm listening and watching, and I begin to take a few deeper breaths because, when I'm agitated, I think I'm not breathing, but I'd probably keel over, but very shallow breathing. So, and then I put my hand on my heart and begin to move my attention to my heart for a moment, maybe even looking down at it. And then while I do that, I think of a moment of great peace and joy that I've had in my life. And so this is why it's good to figure this out prior to using it, so that in an agitated state you're not trying to come up with something really peaceful. And I'll tell you what it is for me is that feeling of a baby's little face resting right here against my neck. That is probably from my own children to my grandchild, one of the most blissful, fabulous, soothing times I've ever experienced. And so I take a few breaths, I tune into my heart, I bring that image to myself, and then you will find you're immediately calmed by whatever it is that you have chosen, that brings you this really wonderful feeling. And when that happens, and you can do this is about a 10-second 15-second interlude, you ask your soul, your guides, your source, whatever it is, your higher self, you ask for the best way to engage in this situation. And that's it. And then you do that. And what you will find always, what I have found is like the perfect attitude, and just that centering of yourself to go so far in de-escalating a situation. Now, why this is important for staying clear and shielded is that we attract or draw energies to us that match how we are feeling. And so if we continue to let ourselves be adversely affected, like really upset, become engaged in arguments and negative behavior, really from our own perspective, we will draw negative energies, and then we're going to have to deal with them. We're going to have to get rid of them somehow. And this is a way, certainly to get rid of them later, if you become aware that something, that you're remaining in a very disturbed situation. You use the EFT, you use the heart centering technique. And so to begin to do this on a very regular basis is very transformational in our lives. So go ahead and work with this, and definitely let me know how it's working for you. If you need any assistance, if you have any questions, just email me, mary@integralakashic.com, and I'll be happy to get back with you and we can connect. So thank you for watching, and please share this video if you think it will be useful for anyone that you know in your life. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you again soon.